Crooked River, Chapter 21. "Pardon me?" Mr. Kelly said, and I saw his eyes dart over to Indian John. I said, "See, Mo," Pa spat. "You listening or not?" There was a peculiar silence before Peter Kelly continued. His eyes flickered in the direction of Indian John again, and then he coughed a little and returned to his questions. "And what do you remember about the other two Indians?" he said. "The other Indian was older. He ran off before we caught him, and shot himself with his own gun." Mr. Kelly squinted at Pa, as if he was pretending to be confused. "While he was running, you say? He shot and killed himself with his own gun." You could tell by the way his voice rose that he didn't believe a word my Pa said. Mr. Root leaped up to shout an objection, and the judge leaned across the table. "Mr. Kelly," he said slowly, as if speaking to a child, "this is a case about a dead trapper." Mr. Kelly nodded and repeated his apologies twice. Around us, everyone seemed impatient to move, and the children in the back were fussing loudly. A man in the crowd stood up and hollered something about Mr. Kelly that doesn't bear repeating. It was already well past noon mealtime. "Have your questions for the witness been concluded, Mr. Kelly?" the judge sighed. "Yes, sir. That was all, I think, yes." Mr. Kelly said, even though, from the downcast look on his face, I don't imagine that they were. Standing up and wiping a cloth across his shiny bald head, the judge told everyone that the next witness would have to wait until the court had some refreshments and its noonday meal. Although I dare say from the wary expressions on the faces of the judge and jury, none of them were very anxious to return to the Indians' trial again. As we walked back to the cabin, Mrs. Evans huffed. "That miserable lawyer has nothing but lies in his mouth, just full of outright lies. I don't see how he can stand there and say those things to your Pa." I didn't breathe a word, but while we walked, I kept on wondering about Mr. Kelly's question. How could a man be running and shoot himself with his own gun? The words of the white men roll with lies. 10 Claws has the legs of an old man, of a slow crane bird, of a turtle. I hear the snap of the white man's gun, but I do not feel its sting beside me. 10 Claws is the one who cries and falls. 10 Claws has the legs of an old man, a slow crane bird, of a turtle. But even 10 Claws does not run slow enough to shoot himself with his own gun.